from having deleted this document here and then transposed it, it would have been, and even there, it doesn't come from the office of the HOD. I would not have sent out a document. So these are some of the issues I found that after I became aware of this, in fact, only last year, when I should have been more prudent and followed up and said, where's the documents? Why have we not sent it out or whatever it is? But that was never done. But it was not for, and I say the one pager, I can't for is there no email trail for that or trail for the document preparation for that one pager as well? I'm just checking if there's something like that.
Yeah. Mr. Behari, I'm not sure what it is you're questioning about the one pager. Your draft which you admitted, which is at page 87, which was supposed to come from the MMC, that's a long letter.
Yeah.
That later becomes PN 19.
Yes.
It doesn't have a date and it doesn't have a signature at the bottom. So the fact that the one pager doesn't have a date and it doesn't have a signature at the bottom must be irrelevant because you have admitted page 87,
yeah.
which lacks a date and it lacks a signature.
Yeah.
So that cannot be a distinguishing factor for debate or that creates uncertainty just because the one pager doesn't have a date and it doesn't have a signature. You admit you sent the email to Linda at page 84 and you call it a revised letter. So it is a different letter to the one at page 87. And here's what I suspect or what I want to suggest may have happened. And Ms. Ncube will take it further if she wants to. You start off with the letter that you own, that page 87, the long one. You take ownership of it. That's where you start off. It's supposed to go out in the name of the MMC. Either you had a change of heart. So according to you, rather, even before I get there, as far as you know, in fact, on the face of it, you have transmitted it to Ms. Naika. It has been transmitted, and you then either have a change of heart or the MMC refused to sign and append her signature to send out your long letter. That's why you send a revised letter. So the MMC would have said, I'm not sending this out. You're going to implement. And so you do the one pager. But having decided to do that, you and the city manager have agreed already, before you sent the email of the 7th, they've already agreed you're going to handle things differently. That is why you have PN 19 now coming under the heading of Office of the HOD. It's no longer the MMC. So the change is not only what is being conveyed to IPID, that conflicting positions that are being adopted, but in fact, what was originally intended to be sent by the MMC now comes from your office, not the MMC. That's the plan. And so it seems to me that the intention was to convey different things. The MMC would have communicated, if all of these had gone out, the MMC would have said to IPID, we are implementing, and your department, in collusion with what the city manager wanted to be done, would in fact be debating with IPID what they have said what they've directed you must implement. That's what it looks like.
Commissioner, I hear the trail of what your thought is. I'm just saying, on the document which I agree was 87 was a draft for MMC. This document of the Office of the HOD, I'm not sure what was the understanding with that. I only became, I said last year, when I looked at it and inquired about it, when the matter resuscitated, what has happened, because I spoke to Jabulo, Zulu. Initial instruction was to him, to say, look at this, look at the criminal aspects on those issues, as I covered yesterday. So I only uncovered that later on that it was signed by Thabo Maskoting as acting HOD. The rationale for having the office of the HOD, the office of the HOD will never deal with that document. So that is why the content of the letter, I accept. The content of the letter was drafted by my team. I read the content of the letter, and it did pick up on the issues and I think what Chair said yesterday also, I reflected on that. It is looking like as if we are attacking a charge against an employee. And I had reflected on that, and very clearly it does look like that. And to go here, my only concern is, Chair, is that page 85 or 85 of the supplementary bundle. I've never will draft a letter in this fashion. Hence I've said, is there some kind of a trail, audit trail to show that I was the author of this? Because I don't know if it was created, but I'm saying that I will never draft a letter in this fashion. I've never done that. Even if you look at the other drafts, such letter, we speak about please respond, and I will send it to Linda. And then once they agree on it, they will put in whoever needs to be done, even the MMC. But I will not do something like this, and I don't recall ever having done this document.
Yeah, well, your email says it's a revised letter. What would you have revised? What would have been the revision? That at least you must remember. Because you wrote this long letter, and then you say, I've now revised the letter, find attached. What would have been the revision?
But Chair, on the emails, that's what I'm trying to say. Please see the revised letter. Is it this document itself that was attached? I don't see an attachment on that document.
I'm asking you. Well, it has to be, because you say, please see revised letter to MMC. Advocate Zulu will submit a comprehensive report letter. So it has to be the same subject unless you produce other documents. But as matters stand, it has to be. And so my question is, if you are sending a revised letter, what would have been the revision? What would you have been saying in the revised letter?
Well, Chair, the revised letter would have been to say that as I said, I can't see the attachment, but let me not, for the sake of I can't see the attachment or the proper document here. If this is a revised letter, it doesn't seem to me a document I would draft on its own, standing on its own. It could be a letter just for the MMC to have written to them to say we are implementing, and then subsequent to that there would have been another letter prepared for the MMC or the city manager, depending on the arrangements for it to go out. But if it's said that this is a revised letter, I don't see an attachment on the email, which would normally be there. But let me. I don't want to take it further. Let me just say the MMC would have said, and the MMC did indicate from the beginning that she wanted to, we must implement the report.
You say she did indicate
that
she wanted implementation of the
yes.
IPID report.
That's correct.
Okay. So I think with that now, then page 85 would make sense then. If she had indicated to you that she wants to implement, then that last sentence in page 85.
It'll make sense.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. Save for me on with other stuff. I think it'll make sense.
Yeah. All right. That last sentence says, you remember that first paragraph where you've agreed it's exactly the same as the first paragraph in PN 19 and in your long letter of the findings. That's the last sentence in that one-page letter that would have come from the MMC but drafted by you. And what I'm saying is then that last sentence that I've just read now is then consistent with what you're saying, that the MMC did indicate to you that she wanted the report to be implemented. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Sorry, Ms. Sigels Ngube. Mr. Behari, you say you would never have written a letter of the nature of what's on page 85. for argument's sake, not that I'm accepting what you are saying, but for argument's sake, give us what you wrote, because you must have written something. You write the email to Ms. Linda Naika, and you say, please see revised letter. If what is attached to that email, or appears to be attached to that email, is what you say you would never have written, give us what you wrote, because surely there must have been something that was attached